Back with me now, Chris Farrell. He's Director of Investigations and Research for Judicial Watch, and Fox News legal analyst Gregg Jarrett. And I want to ask both of you this question, and that is the Judiciary Committee and their role here, and how important is it, should they want to and succeed, in talking to James Comey again?
They need to put Comey under oath because it appears as though he may have made two false statements. First of all, he said the day he exonerated Hillary Clinton that nobody at the Department of Justice, including Loretta Lynch, knew anything about his decision. Now we know the text messages from Strzok and Page show that Lynch did in fact know. So was Comey lying? The second is he testified before the House committee a year ago that he made the decision to exonerate Clinton only after she was interviewed. Now we know from documents that he changed the wording to exonerate her 3 weeks before she was cleared. That appears to have been a false statement by Comey. If so, he lied to Congress. That's a crime. And Chris, your thoughts?
Gregg nailed it. He's exactly correct. But I think that Mr. Comey will decline to even appear.
Is that his? It's impossible to force him to testify.
Well, you can slap him with a subpoena.
And with a subpoena, he has to show up. But does he, at that point, still have to? He's still got constitutional rights, right?
He does. He can take the Fifth and refuse to testify.
Or, you know, he'll put himself in a position that Attorney General Holder was put in, where he'll be held in contempt of Congress, and you saw how far that went.
Yeah, absolutely. This is getting to be a huge number of people from the White House who testified, who have been interviewed by the investigating special counsel's office. The president himself, as we have talked about, is saying he's willing to discuss it all with the special counsel. I'm trying to understand his thinking, the president's thinking, dealing with a special counsel who's highly questionable in terms of his own integrity and his refusal to recuse himself from a deeply conflicted role. Chris?
Well, you know, with respect to the 20 people being interviewed at the White House, you know, 20 times 0 is still 0, right? If they didn't do anything and there was no, you know, vast, deep conspiracy with the Russians, which of course there wasn't, you can only ask the same question so many times to get the same answer. I'm not as concerned about that, frankly. What I am concerned about is what we chatted about briefly before, and that is the president putting himself in a position where Mr. Mueller and others will do everything they can to take him down. I mean, they want his removal. We shouldn't kid ourselves. Or they're going after the scalp of someone in his family, like his son-in-law, Jared Kushner.
Yeah, I agree with Chris. I was a defense attorney. I have yet to meet a prosecutor who cares a whit about justice and fairness. They care, in my experience, about indictments and convictions. They're one-loss record, and that's it.
Correct.
And this business about opposing the release by the House Intel Committee of the 4-page memorandum that is apparently earth-shaking in its content and specificity about corruption and subversion within DOJ and the FBI. Out comes this memorandum from the Justice Department saying we oppose the release of that to the American public. Chris, this is the Attorney General speaking. He had to approve that.
I hope the President of the United States during the State of the Union reads it during his address. I want President Trump to read the memo.
Okay, I'm trying to figure that one out for just a second there.
No, I want him to get up with the 4-page memo. I want him to read it as part of his State of the Union address. If you want to understand the State of the Union, look at the Department of Justice and the FBI. Read that memo. He'll be briefing the American public. He will educate them on what the real State of the Union is.
You know,
that's a great point, Chris.
Nixon famously said, it's never the crime, it's the cover-up. Well, in this case, with the Department of Justice and the FBI, it's both. Crimes and cover-ups.
Gregg Jarrett, thank you. Chris Farrell, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Lou.